on, everybody? We're back with another video. It's been a couple weeks since the last time I posted one. I was traveling for work, so I wasn't able to get to it, but we're back and happy to be back. Happy to be playing some DFS. Played last week, and it's a good thing I didn't make a video because I told a few people that I would have avoided the Lions, and that would not have panned out. I will say, pat on my back, I was big on Rashad Penny. Played him in all my cash lineups, and it salvaged me a little bit. But if you didn't have either of the Lions players that went off, or really any Lions in your lineup, then you kind of suffered a little bit. But going into week 5 of the NFL season, which just sounds absolutely crazy to say, I'm actually really, really liking the landscape of this week's player pool. I've got a lot of players that I'm either very confident in, or I just like the game environment. So without getting too much into it, let's just look at the player pool that I'm kind of going to be basing off of for most of my lineups, cash, GPP. Herbert and Brady are pretty much the only two quarterbacks I'm looking at. Both have really good matchups. I think I'm leaning towards Brady in cash. I think he's just really cheap, and this is one of those teams that he just demolishes, has in the past 4 matchups since he's joined the NFC South. So I think he's going to have a great game. I think Chubb, Kamara, Robinson, and Pierce are probably the running backs that I like most just based on price. I think Kamara is just way too cheap. And I know I'm a Saints fan, so there's a little bit of bias, but I just think at that price point, he doesn't even have to do that much to match it. So that's the running backs that I'm looking at. Looking at the wide receivers, I think Christian Kirk, coming off the week last week where he's injured, I think he could have a bounce back game against the Texans. But Chris Godwin to kind of pair with Brady. The Falcons, although they've got a poor pass defense, their number one quarterback, AJ Terrell, he's actually really good. And I think that might bottle up Evans a little bit and leave the middle open for Godwin, which he's historically torched the Falcons as well. I think Olave right now is just too cheap for what he is to the Saints offense. And then Tyler Lockett, same for the Seahawks. I think he's just getting so many targets. And similar to the Falcons, Marshawn Lattimore is a really good shutdown corner, so he's going to be on DK most of the game. And then Shakir's down there at 3,200. If Isaiah McKenzie for some reason is to miss the game against the Steelers, I think Shakir is he's going to be the punt play of the week. So be monitoring the news and be on the lookout because, like I said, if he is out, I will definitely be punting down to Shakir. And if I do punt down to Shakir, that kind of bleeds into my tight ends. I think Goddard is just a smash play. Even if I can't punt down to Shakir, I think I'm going to try to get Goddard in there. And then if not, Tyler Conklin, all he does is produce, it seems, this year. So I'm going to be looking his way maybe. And then Logan Thomas and Evan Ingram are two cheaper options if I have to punt the tight end position and I can't make the cash work. Cowboys are just going to be the lock defense of the week. The Rams' offensive line is terrible. All Matt Stafford does is stay on his back. And the Cowboys' D-line is legit. It's one of the best D-lines in the league. So that's kind of my player pool for this week. I'm going to be sharing my lineup with you guys real quick, just kind of to give you an idea of what I'm going to be working with so far. So I got Brady in there at quarterback, Nick Chubb and Kamara. Like I said, I think Kamara's just too cheap. And Chris Godwin in there at wide receiver with Olave. And then I'm assuming that Isaiah McKenzie is going to be out this weekend, so I've got him in there. And then Dallas Goedert at tight end, James Robinson against the Texans at the flex. And then right now I just have the Vikings defense. I'll probably move down to the Cowboys by the end of the week, but I don't know what that's going to do for the rest of my cash. But yeah, that's the lineup right now. And then the last little thing for the video, this is going to be a short one, is sports betting. Normally I would do a separate video, but I think it's easier just to combine them into one. These are kind of the sports bets that I'm going to go with. I'm not going to go over all of them individually. It'll just take too long. This is the one I'm sure that stands out right away. Every Island game, I try to do just a crazy scenario. So if you're going to want to root for anything on Thursday night, or if you watch this past Thursday night, we need a Melvin Gordon anytime touchdown for him to have over 64.5 rushing yards. Nyheim Hines to have over 39.5 rushing yards. Pittman over 69.5 receiving yards. Denver to have under 20.5 points. Cortland Sutton 6+ receptions. Matt Ryan to just throw 1 interception. And then the Denver Broncos to win by a field goal. And if all that happens, all 8 beautiful, glorious legs of that parlay hits, that $10 will become $24,000. But if not, this is one of those things in DraftKings where I get the bet back. So that's kind of why I like to do these things on Thursday night. It just makes the game really fun to watch. So like I said, if you want to root for anything, root for that. And if it does hit, then yeah, that'll be a fun video to make. But either way, if you want these bets and my locks, my picks, I keep track of it and update this Google Sheet pretty regularly. So I'm going to leave the link down in the description below. So if you want to go, click on that, bookmark it, do whatever you want to do, and follow that, then yeah, feel free to join me. But without much else to say, that's going to be it for this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.